Lesson 19, we're looking at value word problem examples, and if two angles are the same in a triangle, then all three angles are the same in a triangle. Our first example is a value word problem. We have Kara Magoo had 50 nickels and dimes, whose value was $4. How many of each kind of coin did he have? Alright, first I'm just going to be adding the number of nickels plus the number of dimes is going to equal 50, because that's the total number they give us. And then I need to use their value to set it equal to the $4. So I'm going to have a 0.05 times the number of nickels plus 0.10 times the number of dimes would equal $4. Now this could be very difficult with all the decimals, but what we're going to do is multiply that bottom equation by 100, and that'll move the decimals over 2 places on each of our numbers. So the top equation will just stay the same at this point in time. And then we're going to have 5 times the number of nickels plus 10 times the number of dimes equals 400. So we've basically put everything in pennies. Alright, then you can use substitution or elimination to solve for either the nickels or the dimes. I'm going to use elimination, so I'm going to multiply the top equation by a -5. So I'll have -5 n sub n minus 5 n sub b equals -250. Then I'll add these two equations I have at the bottom together. So the number of nickels, that would cancel, and I would have 5 times the number of dimes equals 150. And then I'll just divide both sides by 5. So the number of dimes equals 30. And then I can put that back in to one of my equations to find out what the number of nickels is. So I'm going to put into this top equation. So the number of nickels plus 30 equals 50. I'll subtract the 30 from both sides. So the number of nickels is 20. So I had 20 nickels and 30 dimes. Alright, let's look at the next one. It's another value problem. We have the fishmonger sold codfish for 6 pence each and mussels for 1 pence each. If Harriet bought a total of 26 items and spent 86 pence, how many codfish did she buy? Alright, so again, we have a total number and we have the values equaling the total amount spent or that they had. So here we'll just have, let's set up our value problem. So 6 pence for each number of codfish, and then that was added to 1 pence for the number of mussels, which when they added together she spent 86 pence. Okay, and then we have the total, which was 26 items. So the number of codfish plus the number of mussels equals 26. Alright, then since the number of mussels have the same coefficient, what I'm going to do is just multiply everything by a -1, which will just change their sign. And then I can add the equations just as they are to eliminate the n sub m. So when I add these together with the understood 1 and it's negative, so 6 minus 1 is a 5 times the number of codfish bought. The number of mussels will cancel out right now. And then I'll have 60 here because that was negative. And then I'll just divide both sides by 5. So the number of codfish equals 12. Okay, but I still need to find out what the number of mussels was. So I'm going to put that into this first original equation here. So 12 plus number of mussels equals 26. And I'll just subtract the 12. So the number of mussels is 14. So we found the number of codfish bought and the number of mussels, but it says how many codfish, so we really only needed to find this number here. Alright, in our next example we're looking at two triangles. They're presented in a different way than they were in lesson 18, but we can still use a scale factor to find out what our missing values are for x and y. So what I'll do is create a scale factor using this 4 and 6. So 4 times a scale factor would equal 6, and I'll just divide both sides by 4. So the scale factor is 3 over 2. So to find the x value, that x value is actually related to this 5 value here. So it'll be 5 times 3 over 2 will equal x. So I have 15 over 2 equals x. Okay, so I found the x. Now I need to find the y. And the y is related to the 7. So I'll multiply the 7 times 3 over 2, and that'll be equal to the y. So I'll have 21 over 2 equals y, and I found x and y.